His energy is so contagious. I want to be around him. I want to do business with him because I believe in my own source. So what's up, guys? It's JVceo. Welcome back to the channel. If you're tuning in for the first time, then thank you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I put out a lot of dope content every Sunday at 6 p.m. So basically, right, actually, before we get started, I'm actually changed my intro. I had the best voice note ever the other day, which is the voice note you're going to hear right now.
Just wanted to say, I've been watching your YouTube videos, man, and you're dropping gems on people. Like, your videos are so powerful, man. I just wanted to let you know, obviously, like, liking and commenting on YouTube obviously is powerful, but I just wanted to come to you directly before you blow up and just say keep on doing what you're doing, man, because it's powerful stuff and I appreciate it. Just wanted to say thank you.
And yeah, it was just super, like, I really love the voice note, you know, so I think I might just include it to the intro of my channel because that's real belief right there. But anyways, a few days ago, I put up on my Snap, if you're struggling with motivation, hit me up. And if you're not following me on Snapchat, it's JVceo, right? But anyways, I said, hit me up. Let's get to it. And I spoke to as much people as I could. I got a lot of messages. I probably got, I don't know, probably over 100 messages. And I spoke to as much people as I could. And, you know, it led me to this video because I thought this channel, for me, it's a growth channel. It's about how do we grow together. So it's not just finances and properties and so on and so forth. It's just growth in general. Progress, not perfection. So I thought I'm gonna put together a few tips in terms of what I do to stay motivated and how I reprogrammed my mind. My mind's been reprogrammed probably since I was 18 or maybe even 17. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna share it with you guys. You know, it's what I do personally. It's not right or wrong. Pick from it what you may and enjoy the video. So I hope I don't hurt any feelings on this one. Point number one. I'm going to give 9 points or 10. I'm not too sure. But anyways, point number one. Stop smoking weed and stop doing drugs. Honestly, I speak to a lot of people and they tell you, blah, 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 blah. Weed brings out your creativity. I'm very creative. And, you know, I've had a fair amount of success. I'm very clear in terms of what my journey or what my trajectory is in life. And I've never smoked weed a day in my life. And let's be honest. A lot of you smoking weed probably got into it as a result of peer pressure in the first place anyways. So stop smoking weed. That stuff messes with your mind, I'm telling you. If you really want to get to some serious heights, I would say stop smoking weed, especially these days where you don't know what's in the weed, you don't know how much chemical has been mixed in with it and so on and so forth. So stop smoking weed. Yeah, I know so many people that I went to school with that smoked their head off, ended up in mental institutions and so on and so forth. You know, and I'll probably have people come on this video and say, oh, there's nothing wrong with weed. Believe it, there is something wrong with it. Stop smoking weed. Not to mention the amount of money that you could save once you eliminate that habit from your life. So that's number one. So right, number two is very important. If you are lacking motivation, you definitely want to do this. Number two is start using a vision board. Most of us were other types of learners, but equally, we're very, very much visual learners. We all love visual aesthetics. It's very pleasing to the human mind, right? So what you need to do is you need to hack your mind into associating itself with your success. And you do that by using things like a vision board, right? But even alongside a vision board, you could do other things as well. So for example, I have like a 3-part table in words where, you know, I plan it out in advance. But basically in the first part, it has all my income. In the second part, it has all my intended investments that I want to do on that particular month. And in the last column, it has all my anticipated expenses. And I paste that in my wardrobe. That visual, every single day I look at that when I get ready, it lets me know, am I on track, am I not on track? How can I be demotivated if I'm looking at that every single day? It's not possible. I can't be, you know? So definitely get to a vision board. It's not too late to do that. It's still 6 months left in the year. Add in financial targets, add in non-financial targets. Perhaps maybe your measure of success is to travel a bit more. So add that to your vision board. You know, once you start visualizing things, right? Once you understand the power of visualizing, right? It will genuinely change your life because you realize that a lot of things are at your grasp. It's all about positive reinforcement, right? An example being in my room, for example, I would have now and again, I'll put up some phrases, I'll put up, you know, quotes and stuff like that I live by. for that period or that duration or that part of my life, I'll do that. But also every morning, once I'm done reading my book, I would either take a little section from the book and I'd literally have that guide me throughout that particular day, or I'd create a quote. So I love creating quotes, and I'd have that guide me throughout that particular day. So that's very important. That's all part of that whole visualization and positive reinforcement. So lighting in here was a lot better, and I thought I'd change locations. So number 3, I get closer to the camera for this one. You need to create a routine. You need to have a habit. It's literally that simple. What's your morning routine, right? Are you one of those that wake up and reach under the pillow and grab your phone? Or are you one of those that wake up and maybe reach under your pillow and grab a book? These are the little tweaks that you can make that can make all the difference in terms of your productivity for that particular day. That's number 1. Number 2, do you have any great positive habits around you? An example being, obviously during the quarantine, I realized that I was working a lot. And obviously I was working from home, but I just get up, sit on my computer and just do a bunch of work, do a bunch of phone calls. And that was it really. And I thought, you know what, this is really unhealthy. And I felt slow. I felt tired quicker. And guess what I did? I changed up my routine, or I changed up my habit. Every morning I went for a run and then started my day. And literally that clears my head. That made me feel better, that made me feel happier, that made me feel more productive. That's the effect of just the tiniest little switch, you know, in your life or in your routine. So that's that. Create some positive routines, create some positive habits. It might be something as simple as making the bed. Like literally, I never used to make my bed before. I'll be honest with it, I'll probably make it a couple hours later, or make it before I go to sleep, right? But then I thought, you know what? I've heard that when you have a habit and you consistently do it for around 30 days, it becomes when you do something consistently for 30 days, it becomes a habit. And I thought, you know what, I want this habit, because then it makes my room feel clean and it makes me productive. You work in a clean environment, it makes you productive. So literally once I jump out of bed, I make my bed regardless of how tired I am. And it helps me not go back to bed, because I usually wake up very early anyways. So let's say if I wake up at 5 and I make my bed at 5, I don't really want to get back in bed because I've just made a bed. So yeah, that works for me as well. Now on to number 4. All right, this one's an easy one, right? But when you write your diaries, right, I literally only cracked this probably about 4 months ago myself, and it's up to my productivity. When you plan your diary, plan it plan it with time limits. So don't just plan a diary aimlessly. Oh, these are all the things I'm going to do today. When you plan your diary, put a time limit. So an example being, I would have mine from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a half an hour break, and then from 9:30 to 11 o'clock, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a half an hour break. And honestly, it's so much productive when you do things that way. That's number 1. Number 2 now, with regards to planning your diary, is try not to overburden your diary. Try not to add 10 things that you want to do that particular day. Carry it over to the next week if you have to. The more things you have on your diary, the more apprehensive you are of actually facing it. You're putting it off. You're putting it off because the thought of it just runs you crazy. But just break it down to like little wins and then just tackle it in that fashion. And now on to number 5. Start learning to stand alone. Learn to stand alone. Stop associating yourself with everything and everyone around you. Learn to stand alone. Get comfortable in your own space. I mean, some of you can't even stay at home. You struggle to stay at home during the quarantine. You need to learn to stand alone. Because when you're not standing alone, that's where everything gets to you. The peer pressures gets to you, you know, because you're thinking about what your mate is doing. You're thinking about what the next group of guys are doing. Learn to stand alone. Enjoy your own company. Enjoy your own bubble. Listen. My personal opinion is I think everyone should have their own bubble, and then when they choose, they can step in and out of that bubble, or they can bring people in and out of that bubble. You need that bubble. The bubble is what protects you. It's like, I don't know, you know, when you have a delivery, a fragile delivery, and it's wrapped around in bubble wraps and stuff like that. Without the bubble wraps, it would break, and that's the same thing with your mind. Without that bubble, you would burst, you would break. So learn to stand alone, learn to enjoy your own company, and I promise you, that works for me. I promise you, it would most likely work for you. You get more motivated and you start to get a lot more done, and you start feeling happier as well, because you're not being dragged in 10 different directions by everything else going on around you. So that's that. Number six. This is what I call, right, fortifying your mind. And what I mean by that, we live in an environment where it's, a lot of things are happening and a lot of dangerous precedents are being set, right? There's all this cancellation culture going on. You need to be at a place where you fortify your mind so you can deal with any adverse things or any adverse sort of experiences that are thrown your way. Fortify your mind. And the way you fortify your mind links back to the previous point, but also links back to what you do with your free time. So start reading books. Exclude yourself from certain things. Take social media breaks. Fortify your mind. Read books. A very good book for you guys to read. I'm actually giving it to some of the clients that won a book last week. Is The Power of Now. The Power of Now. The power of being in the present, rather than being a slave to the past or being a slave to the future. The power of now, the power of the present. So learn to fortify your mind. Become the observer. So now, honestly, you need to read this book, The Power of Now. It's an amazing book. It teaches you how to become the observer of your mind. This is something I've always said. I just never used the right terminology because I didn't know what it was called. But basically, I always used to tell people, you need to get to a stage where you're actually smarter than your own mind, so that your mind no longer controls you, you control your mind. And this book really explains it and simplifies it for you. You need to get to a stage where you become the watcher. You watch and you observe your mind. You're detached from your mind. And that way you have real control over your mind rather than the other way around. So that's that. That's all part of fortifying your mind. Now on to number 7. This is an easy one. Enjoy the little wins. Literally embrace the little wins. A lot of times, we're at 1,000 and we want to get to 10,000. And, we came from 0 to 1,000 and we don't even recognize that. We're just literally just coasting through time. You need to enjoy those little wins. That 1,000, embrace it. Give yourself a pat on the back like, great, I done it. Remember what it was like before you hit the 1,000. Until you learn to appreciate things, you're never going to really understand the true value of those or that, So that's really that. Embrace the little wins. Embrace the little wins. Stop living your life according to other people's success. Stop living your life according to what you think, success is. Every level you are in life is success, right? I'm very successful right now, but am I going to be this successful in 5 years' time? Of course not. I'll be a lot more successful. But does that mean that I shouldn't enjoy this current space that I'm in right now? Of course I should. I should enjoy the moment because that's what helps me propel to the next level. So now number 8 is very applicable to those that are probably watching this from London or any other, inner cities. Your environment would make a difference in terms of how motivated you are or how driven you are. So if you realize that you're in a wrong environment, change it up, switch it up, take weekend breaks. An example being, we've all been stuck in the UK. Some of you, like me, may not like being stuck in the UK. I'm used to flying out maybe anywhere from 4 to 6, 7 times a year. And I haven't actually gone anywhere this year. Probably one place, I think. I can't remember. So I'm at a place where, I'm just dreading everything. But guess what I do? Every now and again, I'll just go to a totally different place that is new to me within the UK. And it will make me appreciate everything again. It helps me change my environment. I try and leave my house every now and again. I'll go for a hike. It helps me refocus. It helps me re-strategize. It helps me just appreciate, my current position, right? So for those of you that are stuck in London, every day, every weekend, you're in London, you're on the underground, you're stuck in traffic. Of course, eventually that takes a toll on your actual mental health. It takes a toll on your well-being. So that's where you need to be clever enough to just switch things up. If you're doing too much of one thing, switch it up. And that brings me on to my very last point, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe, and also make sure you drop a comment. Like I said, I'll be choosing 10 people to give a free book to again this week. I give out free books. That's what I do for you guys. The last one, man, you could call it the most important. Believe in your own source. And that's what's got me this far. I've believed in my own source. Listen, I've never needed anyone to tell me how good I was doing, how bad I was doing, how much they love what I'm doing, how much they hate what I'm doing. And it's actually made a difference to what my goals are for myself. Because From a very early age, I believed in my source. I don't need the confirmation. And same way I don't need the confirmation, I don't need the detractors as well. Those that would probably hate along the way. I don't need those because I believe in my source, right? And once you believe in your source, no one can take you off your game plan. No one. No one. Right? So for me, I'll probably say this is the most important part. Believing in your source, man, takes you a long way. You know, like confidence. Confidence can make you successful. Because confidence will determine how people treat you. Like, I have people that literally treat me off the basis of them just knowing how much I believe in my own source. And they're thinking, you know what, that guy is so, his energy is so contagious. I want to be around him. I want to do business with him because I believe in my own source. So that's that for this week. Thank you guys. I actually had a totally different video scheduled for today, but I thought since I had so much replies on social media, I'm going to give you guys this video today, and we could grow together and get more out of life together, essentially speaking. But over the next few weeks, I will be doing a lot of giveaways. Who knows what's going to come the next week? I might give out a free pair of trainers, or I might give out, you know, some free services on my business. I don't know. But anyways, thank you guys for supporting. To all my original subscribers, I appreciate you guys. Let's get this channel to 1,000+ by the end of next month. I think it's definitely possible. Keep sharing the video, keep referring it on to your friends, and most importantly, keep engaging with the content. And thank you guys, man. I appreciate it. Until next Sunday at 6 p.m.